So to be clear, I'm gonna be talking about mainly not cyberbullying, mainly just school bullying, like, you know, that kind of bullying. So as a kid, I kind of got bullied a lot. And I'm not gonna make this video like kind of like a sad video. It gets funny, okay? I promise. So I can't really remember anything past 5th grade, so I'm gonna start at 5th grade, because that is the time where I got bullied so much that I had to switch schools. Best decision ever, I promise. So around the middle of 5th grade, I started making friends with a person who was on a different softball team at the time where I was facing, so naturally it would be like, okay, you're my enemy. But we ended up making friends, kind of. I went over her house, which was kind of far away from my house. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go down the street and I'm gonna go to your house. She lived in a completely different area than I did, so it was a bit of a drive, and that's how you know that we were decent friends, and we started talking a lot. But she was like the only friend that I ever talked to, but not for her. See, I'm not good at making friends, okay? So she was kind of the only person at the time that I was friends with. She had many friends. So in the middle of the school year, this new girl comes in and doesn't know anyone. She's kind of shy, doesn't really know anyone. And I'm like, wow, this is the perfect opportunity for me to go talk to her and make friends. Now, I don't know why, I just didn't really like a lot of the kids that I already knew at my school. Also, I'd like to mention that in 5th grade, I did mention this before, that from like after 5th grade, I went to a public school, and 5th grade from below, I was in a private Catholic school, so things were really strict there, and so were the kids. There's a lot of stereotypes about like private school kids. They're like all rich and stuff. It's not all true, but it's somewhat true. It switched from 5th grade to 6th grade. That's when I started going to public school, and that's the reason, because I got bullied so much. So this new girl comes in, and I'm not gonna mention her name because honestly I forgot. She wears glasses, she wears her hair up. I'm not really gonna say what she wears because it's the same exact thing that everybody else wears because we got goddamn uniform! I'm not really sure when the first time I went to talk to her, but I talked to her, we made conversation. She was okay. I did see that she was a bit weird at first. Didn't really make much of it. Also, I'm gonna try not to make this thing all about her, so I'm gonna just get to the point. Basically, it got to the point where my other friend that I was originally friends with got jealous and stole that friend, that the new person that came to school from me. It kind of manipulated her into not liking me. But the new girl that came to school was really weird. She'd make up a bunch of random stories that obviously weren't true. A lot of things with furries, I think. Furries weren't really a thing at the time, but she kept saying about how like wolves and stuff. Not really sure what else. She was like obsessed with them. Not saying that's a problem, but she'd basically tell a bunch of like obviously not real stories and making people believe that they weren't real. We're in 5th grade, okay? But this other person at the time came into our little friend group. It's now 4 people. Friend group, like, we were friends and now we're not. Now, I am gonna name this person because I hate her guts and I don't really care and I don't know where she is. I'm gonna name her Alyssa. That was her name. She was on a soccer team that was also with my best friend. Yeah, I know I said I had no friends at the time. We're in different schools. We don't really talk about stuff in school. It's more at home. Basically, they knew each other from soccer. I didn't play soccer. I played softball. So we were like 2 different teams. It's confusing. But she recently came into our friend group because she recently just came around the same time that the other new girl came because she was bullied out of her last school. That's funny. So eventually all 3 of them started like manipulating me into thinking that I wasn't good enough to be friends with them or like anyone else. The one person that I was originally friends with at first before the new girl came started going around and telling people not to be friends with me. And I guess it worked because no one wanted to be friends with me. Now I did tell people at like teachers at the time and they did reprimand one of the girls because she was being very rude. This was the new girl. Because it was a private school, they didn't really do much. They were getting paid lots of money, so they didn't really do much. But I want to talk about this one incident that I did. See, I got really mad over being bullied. I don't know if I'm really sure I got depressed, but I got mad. So this one time, there was like a Snapple glass bottle on the table, and what we did in the other school is the teachers or the janitor wouldn't clean the tables in the lunchroom. We'd have to. So one person from our table would go up, get a sponge full of soap and clean the table. And it was a different person every day because not the same person's gonna do it. I don't know why we did this. I don't know why we did this. We should have got paid for this. But one day it was my job and I rarely do it, but I did it anyway. And I was cleaning all the stuff. Everyone had to take all the stuff off the table. But this one person that I particularly didn't like, they took the Snapple bottle and lifted it up so I can clean underneath it, and I took the sponge, lifted it off the table, and smashed it right into the Snapple bottle. I don't know why I did this, but it was hilarious at the time. I don't know what was going on in my head. I was just so mad I needed to hit something. And yes, the Snapple bottle did break on my hand. No one got hurt, but the glass went shattering everywhere. It was at the end of the table, by the way, so the glass just went on the floor. It didn't actually hit anyone. If it actually hit anyone, ooh, I would have been in big trouble. But I broke the bottle, glass went everywhere, and everyone was like, holy shit, what the hell? And I was like, okay. I literally walk over, put the sponge back in the container. I walk back to the crime scene, and there's a teacher there, and she asked me, why did you do this? And I say, it was an accident. I was going so fast, I didn't realize. It obviously wasn't an accident. I'm not going to tell them, oh, I smashed the bottle on purpose. This is a private Catholic school, all right? I'm about to get detention for a week. Yeah, that was just a funny story that I had at the time. But yeah, eventually they bullied me so much that my mom decided to switch me to a public school. And she was planning on doing this in 3rd grade, but for some reason she didn't. So thanks, Mom. But so I went into 6th grade now. Now, the bullying stopped with kids. It wasn't, and in 6th grade, that is when I started standing up for myself. This is where the uprising starts to come. I'm not just being bullied. So not only did I get bullied by some kids in my public school, but also some teachers. Everyone was pretty much nice to me in this public school because I kind of knew most of them from my softball team, because most of my softball team went to a public school, and like half my team went to this specific school, along with my best friend who convinced me to come to this specific school. We have multiple public schools in our town, and she straight up ditched me the first day. She's like, please come to this school, please, I'll talk to you every day, please come to this school. We go into the playground, the basketball area kind of court thing. It's where we line up for everything, and we go up, we walk with each other. This is in 6th grade, by the way, and she straight up leaves me. She ditches me and goes with her friends, and I'm like, damn, okay, I'm alone now. But this girl walks up to me, she's from my softball team, she's like, hey, what's up, aren't you from softball? I'm like, yeah, and I made friends real quick. But around the end of 6th grade, there was some people. I don't think I only got bullied by one time, I think, and I'm gonna explain it. So, you know all the groups you have in school. You have your quiet group, you have your popular group, you have the popular girls, the popular boys, the bad boys, and we have a specific group in our school of just some Hispanic girls. Gonna start things off, nothing wrong with that, but they were very aggressive. I mean, so was like everyone else in our school, but that's not the point. But they were very outgoing and really didn't care about anyone else's feelings or pretty much anything else. They would kind of barge their way through everything, move stuff, bump into people, really didn't care. There was this one girl in the group that was in a different class without her group, so I did end up making friends with her. She's very nice. There was this one specific girl in the group. I do remember her name. I'm not gonna mention it though for reasons. She was kind of tall. She had her hair up in a ponytail, like real tight, and she walked around. Most of them had like purses on them too. Like, this is 6th grade. You don't need those, even though most of them, this is what my mom told me. Yeah, some girls do that. They carry around little purses and stuff to carry like their girl stuff in. And I'm like, this is 6th grade. What the hell are they carrying in that bag? I come to find out that it's actually candy and like chips and stuff. So one time I'm in the lunchroom downstairs, and if you go down first, you get to sit wherever you want. And it's amazing because who wants to go in a crowded lunchroom and try to find a place to sit? You sit at a table. No one else is going to sit there if you're the quiet kid. So I go over, and there's a couple people sitting that I know there, and I sit down and I start putting my lunchbox on the thing I'm unpacking, and the group walks over. And the one girl, real tight ponytail, comes up front, comes over to me and says, you better get up. This is where we sit. I'm like, well, see, I got here first, so no. And she looked at me with full-on mad vibe. She asked me 2 more times, and I continued to say, no, so sorry, that's not how it works around here. Go find some other place to sit. And she did. Her group turned around, they walked away, and they sat in some other spot because it doesn't really matter. But no, that is not where it ends there. So, I kid you not, the next 2 months or so, every time I see this girl in the hallways, she gives me the death stare. I think one time she like purposely bumped into me to make my books drop, or she pushed my books, something like that. And I was like, damn, okay, you go in there. You know what? Not gonna get involved. I didn't get involved at all. There was this one incident though where I was talking fooling around with this other person, this other girl, completely different group, and one of her friends walks over and didn't know that I was kidding or something, and I think she was getting jealous. So she grabs my arm, and I don't mean like grabs the arm like, okay, get up, or like something like that, or go like tapping on my shoulder. I mean, she had intentions of hurting me. She like grasped my arm so much, like squeezing it to try to make it hurt, and I was like, what the hell? Now, I'm the quiet kid. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before. I don't talk to anybody that much. I'm the quiet kid, never gets in trouble, never try to pick a fight with anyone. Not sure why someone would want to pick a fight with me. So I swing my arm right over her face and almost punched her in the face because I sat up immediately. This is like, we had those lunch table chairs that are like connected with the table, so I almost tripped when I like sprung up into action, but she almost got knocked in the face with my fist. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if my fist did hit her face, would have done some damage, but I got up real quick and I straight up said, what the F? I'm not gonna say that. Not that aggressive. I said that. It was in 6th grade. People did curse at the time, hell, people were doing like vape in the lunchroom. So the teachers didn't really care that much, but one teacher heard that from me, and the whole lunchroom was looking at me because we were like standing up, everyone was sitting down, and I was really, you could tell I was really pissed off. And the girl looks at me with fear. She looks at me with fear and she walks away. And that's pretty much the only time I ever got bullied by kids. I'll save another video for being bullied by teachers, because I feel like that needs a whole another video for itself. But that's pretty much all I got for this story time video. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.